Hey y'all. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Patrice and thanks for stopping by. I also want to thank my returning subscribers. Hey y'all, welcome back. And I want to give another hey y'all hey to the folks at Cricut for partnering with me for this video. My most favorite time of the year is slowly approaching, and I am super excited to have this opportunity to share with you all some things that I will be giving away as gifts and also selling. So join me as I show you all ways to make fun with your Cricut and also make funds with your Cricut. Let's get started. Now we are in Cricut Design Space and we are ready to begin our projects. We will be starting with a mug, and I am going to use this pre-made template already made and available for us in Cricut Access. And this is the holiday sweater mug with tag. There is a fee for Cricut Access every month, and most of the items are included with the membership. However, there are some fonts and images that do require payment. They are premium images. So we are going to start with selecting the size of our mug, and we are using a 12-ounce mug today. When you select one of these projects, they list everything you need to know about the project, what you need and everything else that you may need, and a brief description. And so it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to get this project complete. All right, so you have everything you need right here in Cricut Access underneath the images or the projects. And this is really, really helpful for beginners. All right, so you're not alone. You have tons of help and resources. So let's get ready. We are going to click on to customize in case I want to change or add anything. Now with this project, you can add a name. You can add different things here if you want to cut it out. However, I'm just going to leave it like this because I want to use the inverse of this image as well when it gets cut out on another mug. All right. So I am simply going to click make it. It is that simple. So today I will be using the Cricut Maker 3, and these are the options that we have. Once we click make it, we will be placing our infusible ink onto a mat. So we're going to select on mat. And first it wants to cut the tag. However, I want to cut the infusible ink out first, and we are going to select mat 3. Also, we will be mirroring this because for infusible ink, you need to mirror it because you will be placing it face down onto your mug or shirt, whatever you're using your infusible ink on, you will be placing it face down. And now we are ready to click continue. We will be browsing all materials, and we are just going to type in infusible ink. So let's get ready to send this through. As you see, you'll always get the reminder to make sure that the mirror is turned on and that the material is ink side up. So today we're going to be using Cricut infusible ink, and we are going to be using the Buffalo Check Crack. Place this shiny side down and the ink side up. Alright guys, so now we're going to get ready to cut the tag. So we'll just be using light cardstock paper, and I'll also be using a piece of glitter cardstock. So the light cardstock is what we will write on. So for doing these mats, we need a lint roller, we need some heat tape, and we also need our heat gloves, and we will need a piece of butcher paper just to wrap behind our image. All right, so we are going to peel this. Typically, you kind of scrunch it up to crack it a bit so that it's easier to weed. You weed this with your hands, not with the weeding tool. But today we are going to try to use both parts of the infusible ink. So let's see how that goes. I saw it done on Cricut's Instagram page, and so I want to do it too. So I'm going to weed this part off. And I did run this through my machine twice, so if you need to do 2 cuts, always check your vinyl or your infusible ink or whatever it is that you're cutting prior to unloading it from the machine, just in case you need to cut it a second time, because I did need to cut this a second time. All right, so first we are going to try weeding the outer layer. So depending on the design, you want to be very careful when weeding, especially if there are small pieces like in my design. The sticky paper does help. However, I did have to go slowly and readjust some of those pieces that were just so small and were lifting from the sticky sheet. All right, so we still have this in one piece, and so we will then be able to wrap it around the cup also. So now we are ready to prepare our cup, and you want to give this a nice lint roll. Get off any debris because the heat will cause it to change colors, and you don't want that. All right, and then we're going to line this up as best as possible. Then I'm going to take a little piece of this heat tape and we are going to tape it down. Alright, so I took a little bit of heat tape and I applied heat tape here just to give it a little more pull and pressure and to make sure that it is nice and tight around the cup. Next, I'm going to apply a little bit of butcher paper around. And you do this really to protect your plate because you don't want any ink to get transferred onto there. That's if you're doing Cricut infusible ink or even sublimation. Because there are people who use their Cricut mug press for sublimation also. So we have that there. I am going to cut around the edge a bit. Get another piece of this heat tape. All right, and we are going to now put this inside. Then we're going to push the lever down. I want to make sure it's nice and centered. I'm going to push the lever down. So we're all done, and you want to make sure you have on gloves because your cup is going to be very, very hot, and it looks great. I love it. And now we just need to remove all of this paper from the carrier sheet so that we can reuse it for the other mug. All right, guys, and so now we are going to apply this back to the adhesive so that we can try and press this image. And then we can have a 2-for-1. Right, so we're going to do the same thing. We are going to lint roll this cup. And then we are going to line this up. All right, so the only thing is that it is cut too close. The press doesn't apply here, so we're gonna have to cut this a little bit, cut some of those edges off some. I'm gonna cut right there to the end of the design. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this down. And we're going to wrap this on here. Let me cut. I'm gonna wrap this here. Same way we did the other one. All right, y'all, so if you want to personalize this even more, you can layer vinyl on top of infusible ink and personalize that. And I think I'm going to do that and give it away as a gift. But if you're selling, you can make tons of these cups and just personalize when you sell them. But y'all, this buffalo print looks so good with this image and on this cup. I am loving how this turned out. So we're back in Cricut Design Space and we are going to set up the template for our bracelets. Okay, so I measured my bracelets and it's a 1 by 0.625, and so I am going to set that up right now. I am simply putting text inside of the bracelet. You can put an image or whatever it is that you want to engrave, you can do that. I am changing this to a font that I think would look cute and nice for this particular bracelet, and I'm going to just center it. You want to click onto align and make sure that it's centered proportionately within the template. Next, select the image and change this from a basic cut to an engraved cut, okay? So I am just resizing this so that we can get this prepared. I'm also changing that background so that I can see. However, when I get ready to make it, I will remove or hide the actual template itself. All right, so this is looking really, really good. And I am ready to click on make it. All right, so now we are ready to set up the mat, and I am just going to place the text where I needed to cut. All right, so when we first opened up, it was Miss Craftable was here and the sun is always shining was over here. Well, I am going to place the bracelet right here. So I'm factoring in the actual size of the bracelet, which is about a 1 by 6. And I'm just going to center this as much as possible in between the 1-inch mark and the 6-inch mark. All right. And so for the dog tag, I'm doing something very, very similar, but I am placing this right on the center of the 3-inch mark. Okay. And then I am going to show y'all how I place this onto the mat. All right, so now we are going to click continue. Everything is lined up the way that I want it to be lined up. And then we need to select the material that we will be using. Okay, so as you see, the printable vinyl is not highlighted because we are engraving and we don't engrave printable vinyl. So let's go into search materials. We want to search stainless steel. And here we are. And so we're going to click stainless steel. And now we will head back to the machine to get everything prepped and insert our engrave tool. All right, y'all. So we are using the standard grit mat to engrave our bracelet and dog tag, and we want to remove the plastic protective film. I am going to remove it from both sides. And so we are going to place this, we had it right here. And so we kind of just want it to be nice and centered and try to get it as straight as possible. So now that I have everything lined up exactly where I need it to be lined up so that it can cut correctly, we are going to apply some painter's tape to make sure that this stays in place. All right, so I am going to put some right here at the edge. So now we're about to load our machine, but first we need to swap out that blade. And so we are removing our fine point blade and inserting the engrave tool. I don't know if you guys can really tell the difference, but it's almost like a cone shaped blade. All right, so it's in there. We are going to now load the mat. Make sure all of your rollers are away from the center, because that metal will not clear the roller. All right, guys, so now we are going to get ready and bend our bracelet. But before we do that, we need to stamp it. And so you can stamp it or you can just choose to leave it like this. But I do want to stamp it to kind of bring it out a little bit more. And here is the dog tag that we have. All right, so we're going to stamp both of these. Today we will be using these Impress Art Antique Stamp enamel markers to get that done. Now I'm coloring over the engraved letters, making sure that I get enough ink that will seep into the portion that's engraved. And I am going to do this for the dog tag also and let it dry for about 3 minutes as recommended by Impress Art. Okay, so it's been 3 minutes and now it's time for us to wipe off the enamel. I am using a paper towel with alcohol. However, I would recommend using a cloth as the paper towel kind of gets stuck a little bit in the crevices of the engraved letters. All right, so I'm just going to clean these off, and as you see, it stands out a lot more with the enamel on top. All right, I really love how this came out. However, I didn't center this on the cutting mat correctly, so it's a little off, but to bend it is very simple. You are going to stick it into that opening and just bend it back. You want to make sure that you wrap it all the way down so that the curve is exactly how it should be, and you do it for both sides, and you have your bracelet, y'all. And I love this. So now we are getting ready to set up the signs or the images for the signs, and I am going to upload some files that I downloaded from designbundles.net. Of course, there are several images that you can select from right inside of Cricut Access that you can use, and if you are an Access member, these are at no additional charge to you. Okay, but let's head back over to the canvas, and I am going to upload the files that we will be using today. All right, guys, so here are the files, and they uploaded into the system with several different layers, as you can see on the side. So I am just going to work on both of these designs. I'm going to resize it based off of the size of the frames or the wood round that I will be using, and I will change the colors because it came in with different layers. I'm able to change the colors. So this is perfect, and I am just going to work on that and see what we come up with. All right, guys, so we are all done with setting up our images for the signs, and we are just going to do welcome y'all in one color, and we are ready to make this. So we are ready to get this cut out, and we are going to select on matte because we will be using a matte. And if you're brave, you don't have to group this all together or weld it together. You can have it so that you're not wasting any of your vinyl. You don't have to do that. You can piece it together. I would just maybe weld the rows. But for the sake of this video, and for those of you who may be new, we are going to do it this way. However, there is a better way of doing this and not wasting much vinyl. All right, so we have 3 different mats, and we are not mirroring this or anything. We are cutting on permanent vinyl, and you don't have to mirror it. We will be using transfer tape. All right, so make sure that you have the correct mat selected when you are ready to cut it out. Now I'm getting ready to load the mat, and today for the projects that we're doing, I will be using Cricut Premium Permanent Vinyl to get that done. I do want these projects to last, and as you saw there, I like to peel the mat away from the vinyl. That helps with making sure that the vinyl does not tear or any of the pieces move out of place, and I am just going to weed this vinyl. So there are several ways that you can apply paint or wood stain to your wood rounds. I am using acrylic paint that I got from Michael's. You want to make sure you tape off the portions that you don't want any paint or anything to get onto. And I am going to apply 2 coats of this acrylic paint to my wood round. Okay, so I let that dry for a few hours, and I am ready to peel off this painter's tape, and look how nice and straight and clean that line is, y'all. Painter's tape is one of my best friends. Next, I got this frame or this chalkboard from Five Below, and I am just going to open it up, and I will apply 2 coats of polyacrylic on top so that this protects the back, and it also allows the vinyl to stick onto it very nicely once we get ready to place it on top. So I am going to apply this on top of the chalkboard and also on top of the wood round, and I am going to let this dry and cure for a full 24 hours. So everything's all dried, and I'm ready to apply the vinyl, and I'm just brandishing the front and the back to make sure that that vinyl sticks to the transfer tape, because sometimes, y'all, it doesn't stick. And so I will be applying this in 2 different ways. I like to curve the transfer tape so that it can lay nicely onto whatever it is that I'm pressing the vinyl into, and then I also sometimes like to peel it back a little bit to give it a little exposure, and then help guide with placing it onto the mat as I'm doing right here. But everything looks to be great. I love how this turned out. I love the color combo with the black and the red and the white. Feeling very festive. So now we're going to apply the vinyl to the wood round, and y'all, I really like how this looks. I think I should have used a little more of the white acrylic paint. The strip is too thin. However, I still like how it looks. So I'm just brandishing this down, and I am going to take off this transfer tape and set it aside so that I can reuse it. And I am going to be placing this on top of a wreath that I purchased from Five Below. It's a fall themed wreath, and I love how, oh my God, I love how this looks, y'all. Okay, so now I'm going to put this together and I'm just using hot glue to stick the wooden sign onto the back of the ring. You can use whatever glue you like. I just want to make mine removable and this is the easiest way for me to do that. And we are all done. Look how beautiful. All right, y'all. We are all done with these quick, easy, and profitable projects made with our Cricut Maker. And you can make these with your Cricut Explorer also. It's not just limited to the Cricut Maker. So definitely, if you have your Cricut still in the box, take that thing out and open it up. If you haven't used your Cricut for a few months, dust it off. And if you are in the market for a Cricut, definitely check them out and look at more videos and make a decision on whether or not this product is for you. I do know that it is a product that I love and I definitely support. So let's do a recap. So this is one of the signs that we made and I love how it turned out. You can make these for customers. You can make this for your own home. You can personalize this to, it can have a family crest or a family name on it. It's totally up to you. And I know y'all have seen these wooden welcome signs before, but y'all look how nice this is. And I must say that Five Below came through with the wreath. It looks really, really good matched up. And you can definitely personalize this. You can do all types of designs on these signs. So, and then we had stainless steel that we etched and made jewelry pieces. Y'all, you can sell these as sets. You can give these away as sets, or like me, you can make it for yourself. And finally, our mugs. So these work great as gifts. You can give one mug as a gift. You can give two. You can sell these as a set. You definitely want to make sure you get these tags. Y'all, I'm going to make more of these tags and not just for mugs, but for other gifts. But the main part of this particular project was using this infusible ink and not wasting any. We did not waste an inch of the infusible ink that we used for this mug. All right, y'all. So that's all we have for you today. Thanks again to Cricut for partnering with me for this video. And I want to thank all of you all for watching. I hope you all were really inspired to go out there and stir those creative juices. Make sure to head over to Facebook and join Craftable Things on Facebook. In addition, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. I would love to have you there. But that's it for today, y'all. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.